In a world full of lies, who can you trust? After fake news and false rumors came out suggesting that Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis, of Baltimore, I'm dangerous, and Shakur Stevenson were finalized the fight, set to fight in November. Both fighters have now spoken out, and they've denied and rejected these deposits. In this video, that's what I want to talk about. I've said it time and time again. I'll say it for the slow people in the back. You need to follow me if you like boxing, if you care about the sport. All my links to my socials are in the description, but I'm what counts out here in the world of boxing. If it didn't come out on Boxing Ego's page, you might not want to believe it. So there's a rumor going on that Gervonta Davis and Shakur were set to battle and it was done deal and ready to go. I made this graphic for you guys. You can catch this on my Instagram. You guys see right there. Fake news. Both fighters respond and deny the fight rumors. Right? Gervonta Davis, these rumors just came out. He put cap. And if you don't know the slang, cap means a lie, unserious, right? Then Shakur, it says Tank versus Shakur unification set for November 23rd. Shakur Stevenson says, this is fake, right? You see it right there. This is fake. Boxing is truly looking pathetic. And we as a sport, not me specifically, but as a sport, it just looks foolish and it looks like a joke because of this. Like, not like a parody account, because I have seen that where people will pose as like ESPN reporters and put out a tweet and then it fools people because the ESPN reporter was a parody account and it wasn't the real person, and they used and matched the profile pic to make the account, the parody account, look exactly like the actual ESPN reporter. So even situations like that, it does happen. It makes a little bit more sense. But when you have media in the sport of boxing and whatever, they're coming out or they got sources who are saying X, Y, and Z, it looks really bad when it doesn't come out to be true. It looks terrible when you're thinking you got the scoop on a story and then the fighters come out hours later and denounce it. I mean, this is terrible. And for me, I'm going to always be against things that push boxing back, that don't move us forward. We shouldn't tolerate this. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ego, I actually blame the fans, because there's a lot of content creators. There's people in media, people on X/Twitter, whatever you prefer, people on YouTube, TikTok, wherever, Instagram pages, and they're constantly pushing fake agendas, narratives, clickbait titles, and I blame the fans because it takes the fans to pay attention and give their viewership and their time and their eyeballs to said entity or individuals or whatever. And that's what's causing the problem. For me, I can't speak for everyone else, but if you burn me once, that's all it takes. Like in real life, in boxing, that's all it takes. Well, I'm good. You a reptilian. You a snake. Like, you don't have to like repeatedly burn me. Like, I learned my lesson off the first time. And it's bad too if you burn me, because I'm already not trusting. I don't have a lot of trust in people off rip. You have to earn my trust, if that makes sense. You know, so I'm not a naive. I don't have this sense of naivete, and you know, call me paranoid, but I just don't trust easily. Trust issues, whatever you want to call it. So if I do let someone in and then they show a side of them that is like snake-like, then, it is what it is. But good luck. You hope you got whatever you wanted out of the situation, because now it's over the moment I know about it. So the same goes for what I look at with my eyeballs, right? Now, I've been telling you guys, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. Sometimes these rumors come out and people will hit me up asking me about the rumor because they're just boxing fans. So I'm not even faulting the boxing fans. But I tell you, if you didn't hear from Boxing Ego, it's probably not true. Another good way to help yourself as a fan is, if there's something that is truly hot boxing news and real, it's not going to be sourced by one person, one brand, one entity, if you will. That it doesn't even make sense. So the level of, I don't even know the word, like, because I'm trying to say it without insulting boxing fans, but the gullibility, like the level, these fans are super gullible. You can't be that thirsty for boxing where you're just going to be gullible and believe anything you hear, right? And most of the time, people can figure this stuff out themselves. Why are people so thirsty to see a boxing match to the point where you're just going to believe it with no background? Again, when you're looking at a fight with Gervonta Davis versus Shakur, why not wait till Gervonta Davis says something? He's the man in charge, because if he ain't said nothing about it, then why would you even believe it? And at this point, it's like too many shapeshifters, and this info can't be trusted. Who knows? And this is the thing. I'm not saying people don't have sources, but if you're going to go to print with a source, you better make sure it's a good source. I have sources too, and I have people who have fed me information, and depending on the source or the individual, I won't even put it out because I'm not confident in them. It's just like, it's like a police working with a CA, a confidential, or CI, the confidential informant, right? The informant got to be reliable. Otherwise, it's a waste of the police's time and resources. Oftentimes in those situations, the informant is receiving some sort of immunity so they can stay on the streets by providing intel to catch the bigger fish. But what happens is the cops are going to stop ucking with you and they're not going to protect you in terms of, like, they're going to start charging you for your crimes or whatever. If your intel is bad, you're not reliable. So you're going to be on your own. You know what I mean? And I think that's what should happen amongst boxing fans. You're not hearing it from the source. People are just trusting anything they read on X, on Instagram, something that they heard on YouTube and looked at a title, and then they're running around spreading it. And then people act disappointed. They have the nerve to act disappointed when it was really kind of your fault, because the individuals that usually put out bad intel and bad information, the bad actors, if you will, they're not known for getting it right. They're known for being shapeshifters, right? You have people that will speak bad on Gervonta Davis, but then put out content, put out a video, put out sources on Gervonta's next move. So you think about that. What sense does that make? How would you have intel before other bigger publications about Gervonta Davis, and per your content and your pieces, you don't even like Gervonta Davis? So who fed you this information when, you see what I'm saying? Like, people will bash Gervonta Davis, but then allegedly they know all about his next fights before they're announced, and this has been going on. And I told you, for me, my credibility actually means something to me. My name, my brand, my surname, y'all gonna respect it. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. I don't care about being first if I'm gonna be wrong. Being first is cool, but nobody wants to be first and be a jackass and be wrong. You look stupid. You know what I mean? So it's never that serious. So if I don't have a good lead on the story and I don't trust the source, then I don't put that type of information out. And then the fans start turning on you like, hey, you lied to me. I don't want to be that guy. And it's sad because boxing has a lot of bad actors, including in media, and they just retweet stuff or clickbait titles. And then the fans, they're the ones that suffer because a lot of you guys have traditional jobs. You have families. This isn't your job per se. You could just be a diehard boxing fan. So you think somebody's reliable. You're not going to sift through it and, work through the BS to see if they're telling the truth. You're like, oh, this person has a boxing page or a boxing channel or a website. It must be true. And then it seldom is. And again, it couldn't be me. Imagine Boxing Ego was trying to be first and I put something out. And then moments later, Shakur is talking about, this is fake. And Tank Davis is saying, big cap. This is cap. Hey, stop that cap. It couldn't be me. Because that would look bad. It would look bad for the brand. It would look bad for the branding. And when you establish yourself as not being reliable, and it doesn't have to be just lies. You can not be reliable from lack of consistency. Like, hey, this person has a car detailing business or they're a good barber, but then they're never in the shop. They always call out. There's multiple reasons why a person cannot be reliable. And once you establish that, you got to wear that jacket. You got to wear that scarlet letter. And for me, it's not that serious. Not that I don't care, but I don't care enough to fracture my relationship with the audience by constantly putting out bad information. Like, you look on YouTube, you see some of these titles, and I could tell from reading a title that the title is not true. Because again, one of the telltale signs is if it's really true, it's not going to just be one YouTube channel or one TikTok page or one Instagram page or X account talking about it. That's like, just imagine the news. If there's like Florida news and there's a hurricane coming to Florida, it's not going to be only Channel 3 talking about it. Channel 3 is going to be talking about it. Channel 5, World News, CNN. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be talking about virtually kind of the same things if it's big news. It's just what it is. So when we're talking about Tank and Shakur, we're not hearing it from the fighters. We're not hearing it from the teams. And they're actually denouncing it. It just can't come from one source kind of deal. And they've been doing this to Tank for so long. 1 minute they say he's fighting Abner Mares. Then they saying he's fighting Campbell Hatton. They said he was fighting Pitbull Cruz in a rematch. The rumor was he was fighting El Rayo. And people, they'll start reacting and saying, oh, Tank wants to fight Latino and Mexican fighters and flat-footed Latinos and blah, blah, blah. And then people waste their breath, waste their time getting mad at something that turns out to not even be true. I wish I would. I wish I would waste my time, my energy, my breath arguing for something that a fact check could prove that is not true. And that's the ignorance that we see in boxing. You have people who are really arguing against X, Y, and Z, but the reality of it is you're arguing for something that's already not true, And I don't believe, I'm like Bruce Lee, be like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup, right? I like to be like water, and I want to strip away the inessentials and focus on, like Jeet Kune Do. I want to focus on what's working and discard everything else, the inessentials. Why would I spend my time as a content creator knowing this is my business, knowing I get paid to talk boxing, and I'm doing a Shakur Tank breakdown, and then come to find out they're not even fighting next? I can't. So again, it's to the point. We don't know what Shakur Stevenson's next fight is. We don't know who he's signing with as of me recording this video. But what we do know is Shakur Stevenson has stated that the Tank fight and the rumor that that's happening for sure next in November is cap. And now just imagine this. Boxing is so fractured where the same day listen how bad this is for the fans. The same day where the rumor is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, the day that comes out, Lance Pugmire puts a different article out, and it says Shakur is in advanced talks, and the two have verbally agreed for Shakur to fight Golden Boy's Williams Zepeda, who I believe is his mandatory. Look how bad boxing looks. This looks pathetic. You literally have two different stories concurrently going on simultaneously. Some media is reporting Shakur versus Tank and saying it's a done deal, and then a completely different fight. Like, these aren't even in the same arena. Golden Boy, they got their own thing going on. Williams Zepeda, like, that's a completely different situation to PBC and Gervonta Davis and Al Heyman and Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny. Like, these are like really far on the spectrum. It's not like, oh, I heard he's going to fight one PBC fighter, but he's going to fight another PBC. We're talking about completely different platforms, completely different situations, different entities. It looks bad, man. So I'm going to keep striving to put out quality, reliable news and continue to be the best in the business. There's too much cap in the sport of boxing. It's better to just wait until Shakur announces his next fight or situation and Gervonta announces what he's doing next. All this speculation, all these lies, it just looks stupid, and it truly doesn't grow the sport of boxing. And I'm going to continue blaming you as fans. Don't complain. Don't complain when you guys support this and you're clicking on the videos knowing they're lying to you, and you're mad because you're confused and you're disappointed because you thought a good fight was going to happen and it's not. Don't complain about it if you support it. See, I don't believe in complaining. Complaining doesn't do anything. Do something about it. All the bad actors, if you continue to support them, then the complaining needs to stop, because you're enabling the bad behavior. I don't reward bad behavior, you know? And here's the thing. You got people who put out bad information. They won't even so much as do an editor's correction or apologize. Like, hey, my team, we were way off the mark. I don't know what went wrong. Wires got crossed, blah, blah, blah. So you got people who do YouTube videos, lie in the YouTube videos, lie in the title, in the metadata, and then they won't even make a correction video saying, hey, I was way off. The lack of integrity in boxing shows, and it's why we're not further along in 2024. So as long as you guys support bad news and the bad actors, then the behavior will probably continue. The best thing is speak with your wallet, with your time, with your money, with your viewership. If you don't, then don't complain.